Welcome to my class of cloud computing. Today we will learn about SLA requirement, service level agreement requirement. A service level agreement is an agreement between two or more parties where one of the customer and the others are service provider. This can be a legally binding, formal or informal contract. For example, internal departmental relationship. The agreement may involve several organizations or different teams within one organization. Contracts between the service provider and other third parties are often called SLAs because the level of service has been set by the principal customer. There can be no agreement between third parties. These agreements are simply contracts. Operational level agreements or OLAs, however, may be used in internal groups to support SLAs. If some aspect of a service has not been agreed with the customer, it is not an SLA. SLAs commonly include many components from a definition of services to the termination of agreement. To ensure that SLAs are consistently met, these agreements are often designed with specific lines of demarcation, and the parties involved are required to meet regularly to create an open forum for communication. The formal definition of SLA is: SLA defines the level of services expected by a customer from a supplier, laying out the metrics by which the service is measured and the remedies or penalties, if any, should be agreed on service level not achieved. Usually, SLAs are between companies and external supplier, but they may also be between two departments within a company. Service level management or service level management is defined as being responsible for ensuring that all its service management processes, operational level agreements, and underpinning contracts are appropriate for the agreed upon service level targets. SLM monitors and reports on service levels and holds together customer reviews. In other words, the key criteria for any information to be contained within a service level agreement are that it must be measurable, with all language used is clear and concise in order to aid understanding. Understanding service level management is one of the steps in getting IT certification. The IT infrastructure library certification, ITIL, is globally recognized IT service management certification. There have been several versions of ITIL, with latest one being ITIL version 4, released in 2018. The ITIL certification course is an entry level qualification in the field of IT service management, granting foundation certification to those who complete the studies. Every professional who wants to develop their career in IT service management should know the details of ITIL certification. Once certified in ITIL foundation practices or management practices, along with using IT as a tool for its growth or change. How to design SLA or structures. There are several steps or several ways in service level management in which we can structure the SLAs. To do that, here are few important factors to consider. Will the SLA structure allow flexibility in the levels of services to be delivered for various customers? Will the SLA structure require much duplication of effort? Who are the stakeholders who will sign the SLAs? ITIL features on three types of options for structuring SLA: service based, customer based, and multi level or hierarchical SLAs. Many different factors will need to be considered when deciding which SLA structure is most appropriate for an organization to use. Some of the commonly known multi-level SLAs are corporate level, customer level, and service level. These are different types of service level document. This is why the need of SLA. The goal should be an equitable incorporation of best practices and requirement that will maintain service performance and avoid additional cost. So different factors are: use measurement that motivate the right behavior. The first goal of any metric is to motivate the appropriate behavior on behalf of the client and the service provider. Each side of the relationship will attempt to optimize its action to meet the performance objective defined by the metrics. First, focus on the behavior that we want to motivate. Then, test the metrics by putting in the place of the other side. How would you optimize your performance? Does that optimization support the originally desired result? Ensure that metrics reflect factors within the service provider's control. To motivate the right behavior, SLA metrics should reflect factors within the outsource control. A typical mistake is to penalize the service providers for delays caused by clients' lack of performance. For example, if the client provider changes specification for application code several weeks late, it is unfair and demotivating to hold the service provider to a pre-specified delivery date. Making the SLAs two-sided by measuring the client's performance is a major concern. For example, if the client provider changes specification for application code several weeks late, it is unfair and demotivating to hold the service provider to a pre-qualified or pre-specified delivery date. Making the SLAs two guided principle measuring the client's performance on mutually dependent action is a good way to focus on the intended results. We need to choose measurements that are easily collected. Balance of the power of a desired metric against its ease of collection. Ideally, the SLA metrics will be captured automatically in the background with minimal overhead. But this objective may be but this objective may not be fulfilled, making the SLS 2000 measuring the grid will work. When in doubt, compromise in favor of easy collection. Knowing is going for the to collect matrices manually. Less is more. Despite the temptation to control as many factors as possible, avoid choosing an excessive number of metrics or matrices that produce a voluminous amount of data that no one will have time to analyze and create excessive overhead. While less likely, too few metrics are also a problem, as missing any one may means the provider has breached the contract. Set a proper baseline. Defending the right metrics is one half of the battle. To be useful, the metrics must be set of reasonable reasons and attainment performance level. Unless strong historical measurement data is available, be prepared to revisit and readjust the setting of a future date through a specified process specified in the SLA. Define with care. A provider may tweak SLA definitions to ensure they are met. For example, the Indian response time metric is supposed to ensure that the providers address an accident within a minimum number of minutes. However, some providers may meet the SLA requirement and some of them are not. In addition to defining the services to be provided, the contract should also document how the services give it to another reason. Customization should define SLAs clearly so that the SLA services almost all the times. In addition to defining this service to be provided, the contract should also document how the service is to be monitored, including how the data will be captured and reported and how often it will be reviewed. Time to start setting SLA requirement. During the coming weeks, my main aim is to cost things requested. The goal is not an SLA document, but the estimates will have to get time. There are three major areas that can be shown in the diagram. In my opinion, there are three major areas that can be split into various groups. Example, basic, technical, and legal. Business, technical, and legal. These are the three types. Business, first off, you should start with the business perspective. If there are review current descriptions, documentation, etc. Of many of the students or many of the businesses are how what is the that arises question is what is that has to work from a business perspective, for who, from where, when, how fast. These are some questions. Next is technical reality. When the business definitions are documented, you need to take a look at the mirroring technical reality. How is the business delivered in a technical manner? Are there multiple providers? Geographical location, what location are used? What locations are used? When the business and technical perspectives are mapped, to have to identify how to monitor the technical readability for delivering metrics, KPIs, that are adequate to the business expectations. There are two important principles of working: passive and active monitoring, which I will cover in more detail in the upcoming classes. Next is legal. So business definitions, technical implementation, and monitoring are set. Now the question arises how to create a correlating legal document. Definitions and more definitions. When you use terms, you have to ensure that all involved parties sees an apple. What do you mean by this application? Services, KPI, or availability. These are the three types of or the three parts of SLA. Next is different levels of service level agreement. Customer based SLA, an agreement with an individual customer group covering all the service they use. Service level SLA, an agreement for all customers varying the an agreement for all the customer using the serious services being delivered by a service provider. Multi-level SLA, an agreement for all components for all customer using the services being delivered or being enhanced by the scan or the material. This is multi-level SLA. Since late 1980s, SLAs has been used by fixed time telecom operators. SLAs are so widely used that these days the larger organization may how many larger organizations are missed, and so to keep track of all these points, this internal scripting of SLA also help to complete quality of service between an in-house department and between services between an in-house requirement. The output received by the customers are also defined at different levels. Customer based SLA, an agreement with an individual customer group covering all the services they use. For example, an SLA between a supplier, IT service provider, and financial finance department of a large organization for the services such as they may use high speed LAN. Multi-level SLA. The SLA is split into different parts, each addressing different arising in this type of SLA being offered may vary from the disk. So these are about the type of multi-level SLA. Multi-level SLA, why it is called multi-level SLA? Because it can be broadly classified into corporate level SLA, customer level SLA, service level SLA. Customer level SLA covers all generic service level management issues appropriate to every customer throughput the organization. And the third is these issues are likely to be less volatile, violence and high speed connection. Customer level SLAs convert all SLM issues relevant to particular group regardless of service being sent. Service level SLAs issue relevant to the specific services in relation to specific customer group. So multi-level SLA is for corporate level also, where all of general issues relevant to organization are covered and they are the same throughout the entire organization. For example, with entire SLA at the organizational level, every employee needs to create password of 8 characters and must change it every 30 days. Or every employee need to have an access card with an imprinted photograph. Customer level, those issues specific of a customer can't be dealt with. Security requirements of one type of relation to customer can be covered. It applies to all customers that contract the same issue. For example, contracting IT support services for everyone who uses a particular IP telephony provider. Using a multi-level structure for a large organization reduces the duplication of effort while still providing customization for customers and services, and therefore corporate level SLAs apply to everybody and every department in that organization. Customer level SLAs apply to the department and so on. On the other hand, if we also have to stand where we offer it, say for example juices throughout the day but at the fixed prices, and where customers B and C can source their need, this is a service thrive based MLA. So, what does an SLA document consist of? Aspect of the service including responsibility, quality and availability are agreed on between the service providers and service user. Therefore, we should make sure that we can deliver the promised product at the promised time. SLA document typically consists of an introduction to SLA. What does this agreement agree? How many hmm, how many of these agreements are in working condition? Mutual responsibilities. Who is responsible for what part of who is responsible for what part of the service window? Service availability. How much is the service available during service? Now, service availability and reliability, customer support arrangements, contact points, an escalation, a communication matrix, service performance, security, cost and changing method used. Understanding service level management and service level agreement structure gives us an edge with helping an organization delivers on the promise. Gaining the availability to create and manage service solution ensures that the organization and its customer will be able to communicate more clearly to fulfill needs. Service based SLA. The first type of service level agreement structure is the service based SLA. A service based SLA covers one service for all customers. In a service based service level agreement, the service level of customer query service will be same for all customers that will be using the service. For instance, if the finance department and the human resource department are two common or are two customers which will be using this service, the same SLA will be valid before the IT service provider and these two departments, since it is a service SLA. Customer based SLA. A customer based SLA is an agreement with one customers covering all of the services in this computer. Let us consider the relationship between you and your telecom operator. You use the voice service, SMS server, data service and servers and several other services of telecom operator. For all these services, we have only one contract between us and the telecom operator. Multi-level SLA. In multi-level SLA, aspect of SLAs are defined. Attending the service SLA are defined to the organization of customer using some kind of inheritance with overall definitions with relevance for all subordinate level. This LA focuses on organization of customer. All servers and their interrelationships with subordinate services are used when defining the multi-level service agreements structure. Components of SRA. Different components of SLA is present, which are the features of SLA. Different components are type of service to be provided. It specifies type of services and any additional details of type of service to be provided. In case of an IP network connectivity, type of services will describe functions such as operations and maintenance of networking equipment, connection bandwidth to be provided, the service desired performance level, especially its reliability and responsiveness. A reliable service will be the one which suffers minimum disruption in a specific amount of time and is available at almost same time. Next is monitoring process and service level reporting. The component describe how the performance level are supervised and monitored. This process involves gathering of different types of statistics. How frequently this statistics will be considered at this is important. Next is the step for or the types of service to be provided. It specifies the types of service and any additional details of any type of services to be provided. In case of an IP network connectivity, type of service will describe functions such as operations and maintenance of networking equipment, connection bandwidth, and so on. The server's desired performance level, especially the reliability and management level, is a reliable service will not affect which suffers minimum disruptions in a specific amount of time and the others will be involved. The steps for reporting issues with the service. This component will specify the contract detail to report the problem to and the order in which details about the issues have to be reported. This contract will also include a time range in which the problem will be looked upon and also fill up when the issue will be resolved. The next one is response and issue isolation of R-frame. Issue resolution time frame is the time period by which the current service issue will be resolved next. Thank you for watching.